I'm going to summarize my usual introduction. If there's no objections.
Zero. Hearing none.
Yep, no objections.
Okay, she said.
I can say aye, you know, I
Moved and
like,
seconded.
Okay, we are live.
We are live. So, good afternoon or good evening. My name is Gary Darnielle. I'm the City of Salem hearings official. For the record, it's 5:30 on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. We have one hearing on our docket this afternoon. It concerns a proposed zone change from RM1 multifamily residential to RM2 multifamily residential for tax lots 2900, 3100, 3200, Marion County Assessor's Map 72W05D. And site addresses of 5092, 5062, and 5042 Hayesville Drive, Northeast Salem, Oregon. The applicant is Hayesville Properties LLC, represented Brittany Randall of Brand Land Use. This is case number ZC 2501.
yeah, just bear with me 1 second, hearings officer. We're having a little bit of a glitch with the screen here again. I need to share my screen and have it refresh in a couple seconds here.
I'm got a little more to go.
Okay, awesome.
It's important to note that you have to raise procedural or substantive issues at the hearing, or if appealed before the planning commission. Failure to do so will prohibit your ability to raise those issues. Your appeals. The ultimate burden is on the applicant to show by a preponderance of the evidence that all applicable legal criteria have been satisfied. By statute, you have a right to request that the record be held open 7 days. You don't have to give reason for the request, but it needs to occur prior to the close of the hearing. You also have a right to request a continuance, although that is discretionary with the hearings official. You know the procedures that we're going to follow. Anyone who has standing may appeal my decision to the Salem Planning Commission. You must do so within 15 days. The date of the notice of written decision is mailed. We take this opportunity to indicate that I've had no ex-parte contacts, nor do I have any actual or potential conflicts of interest to declare. This time, parties may challenge my impartiality or the jurisdiction of the hearings official. If there are no challenges, I would ask staff to make a very brief staff presentation.
Yeah, just bear with me 1 second here. We're still having a little bit of a technical problem with the computer not recognizing the screen. And so it keeps on flashing in and out. So we'll get that fixed here in a few seconds. It gives me enough time to share my screen. Yeah. Okay, well, so I think the second time we've had a little bit of a technical difficulty with this computer. So, but I do have my physical copy, so it's gonna probably refresh here. So we will go ahead and just see, don't show again. Let's see. It's something to do with the mouse. Once you touch the mouse and it,
Oh.
you know, it's like the input to the computer causes it to freak out. Okay, so good evening, hearings officer Bryce Bishop with the City of Salem Planning Department. This is zone change case number 2501. It's for a zone change for property located at 5042, 5052, and 5092 Hayesville Drive Northeast. The property is approximately 4.59 acres in size, and it is located on Hayesville Drive in the 5000 block, and just a short distance west of Corden Road. Hayesville Drive is a collector street, so it's a higher classification of street in our city. intended to have increased traffic, and therefore it is a suitable one of the factors that one would consider appropriate for multifamily higher density because of the street classification. That's not just a local street. It's also near an elementary school, a middle school, Stevens Middle School, and Yoshikai Elementary School, and a park. And it is, and the topography of the site is flat. There are no landslide hazards present. There are no wetlands or waterways. So, as identified in the staff report, the criteria, for whether or not a zone change should be approved is whether or not the proposed zone is equal or better suited than for the property than the existing zone. So the property is currently designated multifamily residential on the comprehensive plan map, and it is zoned RM1. So this application simply seeks to change the zoning from RM1, which is a slightly lower density zoning, to a slightly higher density zoning of RM2. And there, because of the comprehensive plan designation is already multifamily, no change to the comprehensive plan designation needs to be made. As identified, in the staff report, there was a previous subdivision that was approved for not only this property, but then also property to the west and to the south. And that included a 92 lots in phase 1, and then 5 lots in phase 2. So this property is in phase 2 of the subdivision. And 3 of the lots of the 5 in phase 2 will be consolidated in that phase to be one larger lot that's 3.34 acres in size. And there will be a new street extended, to the south of the property, and then on the east side of the property to provide street access and connectivity, along with sidewalks and boundary street improvements along the frontage of Hayesville to ensure safe and convenient pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicle access. In terms of the criteria that are applicable to a zone change, we have to demonstrate that the zone change is necessary or appropriate. And then one of the factors is whether or not the proposed zone is equal or better suited than the existing zone. And because it is already designated multifamily, the zone change to RM2 allows for a higher density, residential development within the urban growth boundary, and wise use of land near near a higher classification of street and near schools and parks, meeting the criteria for siting of multifamily along those areas. It's as identified in the staff report. It's consistent with the comp plan and the comp plan goals, and then also the statewide planning rules. And it will not significantly affect a transportation facility because it's currently designated multifamily. And because of that multifamily designation and it not changing, the RM1 and the RM2 zone already address, our transportation system plan already addresses kind of the reasonable worst case traffic that would be generated by the highest level of zone that would be implemented by that comp plan designation. And so the RM2 zone has already been considered, in the TSP and all the other cities' facilities plans. So there was a comment that was received that was questioning whether or not the increase of density was appropriate due to lack of facilities being available. Well, again, like in our master plans for water, sewer, parks, and storm, it's all based on the comp plan designation. So that's currently multifamily. That multifamily designation already considers RM2 levels of density. So that really isn't changing. The property, as part of the subdivision approval, had, for both phases, had several conditions to extend water, sewer, and storm to serve the development, as well as boundary street improvements. And so the property can be served by infrastructure. There's also a comment about police response times, emergency response times. And so our fire department reviewed the proposal and indicated no objections to it. It's in the city. It's already served by existing, fire, station facilities. So there is no issues with the response times. And the proposed zone change is justified based on those factors.
Fire department make a comment?
They did, or they were silent. They reviewed it, like all the departments always get a chance to review it, and they didn't provide comments. So, and then we also did receive a comment from the Northgate Neighborhood Association expressing concern about more multifamily in their neighborhood area. Again, this zone change allows for higher, wise use of land inside the UGB with higher density housing. It's certainly intended for that use under the comp plan designation today. And our standards, and there was a comment about a lack of school capacity to facilitate or to accommodate the increase of population. And as identified in the staff report, the school district did provide comments identifying that the schools that this property is served by won't be over capacity when they take into account previously approved land use actions plus what is anticipated to be generated from this development in terms of student enrollment. So schools will have sufficient capacity based on the school district's estimation. And there was also one other comment that was provided about concern about there's a single family house that would be surrounded by this RM1 zone today that would be surrounded by more RM2 zone to the east and to the west and to the south. When you compare the two zones, the only difference is density between the two and height. So in the RM1 zone, the maximum height is 35, RM2 it's 50. Other than that, the setbacks are all the same. They both, if it was multifamily in RM1 or multifamily in RM2, they'd be subject to the same multifamily design review standards. Open space would be required. Buildings would have to be designed to minimize impact. So, really the only difference between RM1 and RM2 in terms of impact of that property that will be surrounded would be the density and the height. All other standards are the same between RM1 and RM2. So with that, I would conclude my presentation and recommend that based on the facts and findings of the report, that the zone change be approved.
I assume you want the file introduced into the record,
Yes, correct. Staff report and the entire file.
so accepted. Now an opportunity for the applicant's representative,
Does it,
known for her brevity.
does it seem like we can share?
You can if you touch the mouse to see what happens.
I don't want to touch that.
And then can you go down to over to share? You can go to share. Okay. But then go to share. So you have to go back to Zoom first though, Brittany.
Oh. Oh, they can't see it.
No, not until you share first on Zoom.
So go to Zoom. Scared.
And then lower middle. Just screen. Right,
Nope.
that's fine too. That works.
Oh, okay. This is okay.
Yep. Share. Okay, and then you're good to go.
Where's the presentation? Here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so glad because my presentation has a lot of pictures. Okay. Is it getting me? Can it hear me here? Do I need to move it?
I think it might need to move down.
Just a little. I'm scared. I don't want it to break. Okay. Okay. Good evening, hearings officer. My name is Brittany Randall with Brand Land Use. I'm here to present this case to you this evening. Thank you, Bryce, for your presentation. I was talking to Bryce earlier today and I said, I love and hate presenting after you because you don't leave anything left unsaid. So I love that. But then you don't leave anything left unsaid. So I hate that. So I thought I would take the opportunity to walk you through a little bit more in depth what was approved previously so you can have a global understanding of why we're here asking for the zone change. So quickly, the project team is very small for this case. The applicant, Hayesville Properties LLC, civil engineering has been provided by Tyler Roth of AKS, and I've been providing land use. We've been working on this project for 4 years, about 4 years. So it's been a long project together with Bryce. So just a quick site overview. I know you know this already because you said this in your opening, Mr. Hearings Officer, but we are looking at 5042, 5052, and 5092 Hayesville Drive. We have surrounded the area of zone change consideration in pink and placed a pink star on it. It abuts Hayesville Drive to the north. And then we have Cordon Road east of the property. And then to the west is Stevens Middle School and a city-owned park property. As Bryce mentioned, the area of the zone change, is 4.59 acres in size. So when we're doing our calculation of density later, I did the calculations based on 4.59, but I'll demonstrate to you that a lot of the property will be dedicated as right-of-way. And so that actually wouldn't be factored into the density calculation, further reducing the impact of the RM2 zoning on the property. So as we've said, it's currently zoned RM1, which is multiple family residential 1. We're proposing multiple family residential 2. And then the subject site is integrated into a larger phased development. So I'm gonna run through this. What you'll understand at the end of this first segment is phase one. And just so you know, we've turned you on your side. So Hayesville is gonna be on the left of the screen, which is north. So the pink area and kind of in the center up by Hayesville, that's still our zone change property. And it stays highlighted pink throughout this so that you can kind of understand what's happening around it. Again, phase one was approved under subdivision adjustment 24-02. So the first thing I wanted to highlight for you, hopefully you saw that change there, pink surrounding yellow lots. Those are 54 townhouse lots. Then we have 38 single family detached lots. These are further south from the main road of Hayesville. And again, this comprises the 92 dwelling unit lots that were approved in phase one. Some other components about this phase that are important to note, these pink areas are connecting pedestrians to the school property and connecting them to the park property. And then we have a complete sidewalk system along the frontage of these lots. So pedestrians will be fully connected throughout this development upon completion. And then lot 95 is reserved for like a master stormwater facility. And I know that's important to note because one of the things that we're charged with is to demonstrate that we can serve the property adequately. We do believe that we'll have one more water quality facility somewhere within the pink rezone area. But this facility that we designed on lot 95, I say we, I had nothing to do with the design, thank goodness. The facility will also pick up other areas in phase two that I will describe later.
You mentioned adjacency of a park. Is that the Yoshikai
Yes,
School Group?
yes. Okay, so then just another refresher of the zoning map. So the property, the boundary around everywhere that describes our whole project, and it's split zoned. So the areas abutting Hayesville are zoned RM1, which is multiple family residential 1, and then further to the south, they were zoned RA, but they'll be converted to RS because we completed a subdivision and what's that called, Bryce? Automatic
Zone change by operation.
zone change by operation. Thank you. So those RA designated properties upon recordation of the subdivision plat will be RS. And really the only difference between RA and RS is that you can have farm animals in RA, which I think is kind of fun. Not appropriate for city. So then I'll walk you through a phase two, which we will be presenting to the city upon completion of this hopefully successful zone change. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm stalling. Hopefully it will come back to life so I can show phase two. What are the odds? Is it on life support? Oh boy. Well, okay, we're coming back. I wonder if it's something down here that I'm touching. I'll try to stand further. It was going so well. Okay, we're back. Okay, so now we'll overview phase two, which is this area in pink. And then I will show you a very colorful diagram of what we expect phase two to be. So I'll start at the top. The two orange areas are existing homes that are planned to be retained. Fun fact, there is a home inside the, I'm scared to touch the mouse, but for that reason, to the south, it's actually planned to be moved to one of the single family lots in the back, which I think is going to be a very fascinating process. So the two homes to the east and north up by Hayesville, those are planned to be retained. All of the remainder of the lot to the east, and I know you don't have a picture in front of you, but That's all planned to be future townhome lots, so it would match what we did in phase one. And then the blue areas that you can't see now, but maybe you remember, are future right of way. And then the pink area that we're proposing to change the zone on is proposed future multifamily development. There we go. Okay. So comparing kind of the most important parts of the RM1 and RM2 zones, Bryce did this as well, so I'll just run through it quickly. I think the biggest difference here is obviously the density and the height. We did sort of an analysis about what would be the maximum permitted under RM1, which would be 78 dwellings. And the maximum permitted under RM2 would be 142. Although I will just remind you that that does not take into account the property that we would be dedicating for right of way. So those maximums will be probably significantly less. But I just wanted to present to you kind of the worst case scenario so that we could evaluate the application on its merits. I will also say that I've been in discussion with a lot of city staff, and I have not heard any city planner express that they've ever seen a maximum project come in with the highest dwelling units that you can have. So it's not common to present that many dwelling units. The approval criteria, arguably the most important part of this case. So I'll just run through briefly. We did provide robust written narrative, and then Bryce also provided a staff report, which we agree with. So proposed zone is equally or better suited. The subject properties are physically suitable for development under the RM2 zoning standards. So we evaluate it for size, facilities availability, et cetera. The area is served by transit and is in close proximity to public parks and schools. The characteristics support the higher density and broader housing options permitted in the RM2 zone. The second criteria is not applicable, as this is not a city initiated zone change. Third criterion, the proposal complies with the comprehensive plan. This was a very long response in our narrative, and I won't do that to you here, but essentially the subject properties are already designated multiple family residential in the comprehensive plan. And the RM2 zone allows for higher residential densities and a wider range of housing types, making it more consistent with the city's policies, which are to encourage efficient urban development and housing diversity. So this is where our statement and our narrative comes from, meeting the criterion that this is a more appropriate designation for the property than the RM1 zone. The next criterion, the proposal complies with applicable statewide planning goals. Our materials demonstrate compliance with goal 1, which is citizen involvement, goal 10, which is housing, goal 12, which is transportation, goal 11, which is public facilities and services, and goal 14, which is urbanization. These are the goals that we believe are applicable. Next criterion, this is applicable if the zone change requires a comprehensive plan amendment. Obviously, we do not require that, so this is not applicable. The transportation impacts being adequately addressed. We do have a condition of approval on our subdivision that phase 2 will trigger a transportation impact analysis. We were like maybe 2 or 3 trips under that threshold. And then knowing that we were going to have some sort of multifamily development come in, we knew immediately that we would be presenting a traffic impact analysis to the city. So that will be forthcoming. I think it's widely acceptable to say that zone changes themselves don't impact traffic, but the development will definitely need to demonstrate what impacts it has and what mitigation measures might be required in order to offset those impacts. So we absolutely are prepared to present the city with a TIA at the time of development. And then, of course, can the property be served with public facilities? Water, sewer, storm, and drainage facilities are available and planned to be extended to the properties. We were even conditioned to do so through our land division decision. And so as part of the subdivision approval, we have been charged with constructing new public storm, sanitary sewer mains. We have to extend a 12-inch public water main along Hayesville Drive. We have to make frontage improvements, including sidewalk, curb, ramp, and street widening. So collectively, we believe that serves this property as well, as it was part of that application. So just finally, I would wrap up by saying the zone change from RM1 to RM2 represents an important opportunity for Salem to see what I believe is one of the finest examples of integrated housing variety in one single development. The proposal delivers a thoughtful mix of residential options that support the neighborhood vitality and expands attainable housing choices and aligns with goals and policies of the City of Salem Comprehensive Plan. And you can't see it, but my next slide is asking if you have any questions.
Does your slide presentation contain the summaries you just gave in terms of the development improvements that you will be required by the city, extensions?
My presentation does, as well as our written narrative that is in the record, yes.
I need access to the record of it, Jen.
Yeah, I emailed you the link.
Pardon?
I emailed you the link. So
Did you?
Mhm.
Oh, well. Don't mail it to me again. So at the time that you may or may not have to do a transportation analysis, you will have presented to us the basically a site plan for the entire property being rezoned.
Yes, the property being rezoned, as well as the kind of small remainder and then the internal street connection. So all of phase 2, we anticipate submitting together. And we think that's important because our TIA will have to be reflective of all of that. And so I think the city should be able to analyze the entire application at once. So yeah, so they'll see a site plan review, design review, subdivision application, driveway approach permits, maybe some adjustments. They'll see the whole package.
And your presentation will be in the file record.
One other thing I would want to add, Bryce, I think the fire department did respond. I thought I saw a comment in the PAC portal that said, we have reviewed this and have no comment.
That was my summary of their no response.
Okay,
Yep.
Never mind then. Got it. I didn't know you had the power to respond on behalf of others, but thank you.
No more questions.
Okay.
I do have a question for staff and where. Just a quick question. Traditionally, when you have a zone change determination, is a map included in that?
In terms of, the final form that will be taken, yes, there will be an exhibit, that shows, essentially it is it's the subject property map that is the boundary. There isn't like a meets bounds, it's just based on the current tax lot.
In the past, when I've done zone change, there's an order, there's an attachment, which is a map showing.
And we add that staff,
You add that,
yes, to the decision.
and I can refer to it.
Yep,
Okay,
yes, definitely.
good. It saves me some Adobe time.
Yes, that's covered based on the materials we have, so.
There's no other communications necessary. I'll close the public hearing and thank you for your testimony. 6 o'clock.